Hello dear student, this is Vijay Spatale, Assistant Professor in Ray Shikshan Samstha's SSB College of Education, Tehsil Srampur District, Ahmednagar. Today I am going to orient you about a syllabus of paper number 10703, that is Pedagogy of School Subject. This subject is of B.Ed first year. As per the NCTA, Savitribai Phule Pune University, Pune has prepared this type of syllabus under education faculty for 2-year B.Ed program, which is choice based credit system in nature, having annual pattern since 2015. As far as preamble is concerned, as you know that the Bachelor of Education program, that is B.Ed, is professional course. In this professional course, once you get professional degree, you can join anywhere as a teacher. Means from standard 6 to standard 12, you will have good opportunities to serve for the students, so that you should have such type of professional attitude with you. Let's know about the framework of this one. Course code is B.Ed 10703. The title of the course is Pedagogy of School Subjects. It has 2 credits and 32 hours are given for teaching. And for evaluation purpose, 40 marks are for external evaluation and 10 marks are for internal evaluation. As a student, you must know about the marking system and course code as well as credit and hours. See, every subject has its own objectives. Likewise, this course also have objectives. Let's focus on objectives to enable the student teacher to understand the nature, scope and importance of subject. Means this is the language of foreign, or it is known as L3 for Marathi medium students, third language. And this language is very important because 115 years Britishers ruled over India, and they have started teaching of English language for their purpose of commerce and trade. And through the missionaries, many schools were opened, many universities were formed by the British government, and there were 4 universities. So that to understand the nature and scope or importance of this subject, it means that if you learn English very well, then you have great opportunities to serve in the world anywhere for your job, for your career. You can choose English language. Or as a student, you should know that what are the importance of this language, because it is the language of library, it is the language of science, it is the language of technology, language of literature. Everything there is in this language itself, so that there is big scope. And after that, second objective is that to enable the student teacher to state the objectives of subject. Means every subject has its own objectives, and before teaching and after teaching, whether teacher achieved all these objectives or not, or whether objectives are fulfilled or not, it should be seen by the teacher himself or examination system. Third objective is that to enable the student teacher to explain and use different approaches, methods and techniques of teaching learning of the subject. Means there are many methods and many techniques are there to teach in the classes and as a teacher you should have command over these teaching methods and techniques, because while teaching of English language you must know the level of students, and as per your students response you have to continue particular method, or you need to have use of particular approach. After that, fourth one is that to enable the student teacher to explain and understand the structure of subject. Every subject, every subject has its own structure, and in this structure, as you know that for English language there are prose, poetry, grammar, and writing. In writing, letter writing is formal, informal. Likewise, means this objective is so important because practical knowledge is given to the students. Objective number 6 1, to enable the student teacher to explain the importance and use of core elements, values, and life skills. These core elements have been included in 1986 when National Education Policy was introduced, and to have the unity in society, and for the purpose of integration these core elements have been included in the syllabus in all over India. After that, objective number 7, to enable the student teacher to analyze the textbook and content, means whatever textbook is prescribed by the government to the particular standard, a student teacher should know in what way uh, I have to analyze the textbook. What are the units are there? On which basis this particular textbook has been formed to teach for particular standard, and after that meaningful content should be used over there, and it is always used, and so that students get much more knowledge about various content. 8 to 1, to enable the student teacher to analyze the various resources in teaching learning of the subject, means apart from textbook, apart from reference books, you need to search for other references or the references which are created with the help of modern technology, and so that you must have such type of thirst of knowledge. The ninth one, to enable the student teacher to understand qualities of good teacher, means good teacher has his own identity, where okay, and so that you will definitely know about what are the characteristics of good teacher, what are the qualities of good teacher, and you have entered in this noble profession, so that which quality you have to inculcate or which quality you have to maintain throughout your career. And last one, that is to enable the student teacher to analyze and evaluate the new trends of current issues in the subject. Many new trends have been emerged, so that as a student teacher you should know and you have to evaluate all these new trends for better understanding of English language. Okay, these are the 10 objectives. In this one, unit number 1, it has 1 credit, and unit number 1 have 2 parts, that is A part and B part. A part is totally based on nature of the subject English. As we have discussed earlier, point number 1, the nature and scope for subject English, means once you learn very well English, then there are the opportunities and you have to grab the opportunities to form your career, and anywhere in the world you can serve as a teacher, as a scientist, anything, and many options are there. Suppose if you have completed your B.Ed course and if you are about to qualify TOEFL or ELT, then if you qualify TOEFL, then you will get job as a teacher even in abroad. Okay, so that your English knowledge must be enriched and you have to be so prompt in learning of English language. Second one, the place of English is in secondary, higher secondary school curriculum. Okay, dear students, maybe you belong to Marathi medium school, or you will be from English medium school. What is the place of English in school curriculum? As far as Marathi medium is concerned, English language is taught as a language third, that is L3. And what will be the L1? L1 is mother tongue, that is Marathi. Then second language L2, it is known as national language, that is Hindi, and third one is English language, which is foreign language. But in English mediums, three language formula is different. They have to study L1 as English, L2 as national language, that is Hindi, and third one, that is regional language. If they are residing in Kerala, they have to learn third language Kerala. If they are in Gujarat, they have to learn Gujarati language as third language, or vice versa. It happens in English medium schools. After that, third, objectives of teaching of English subject at secondary and higher secondary school level. See, for teaching of English language, main focus is given on four fundamental skills, that are listening, speaking, reading and writing. As far as students levels are concerned, little part is taught to them at lower level. In between, more difficult part is taught to them at secondary level, or most difficult, or we may say that as per the maturity level of students, they have given such content, they have given such experiences or techniques of teaching these four fundamental skills according to their maturity level. After that, fourth one is that relation of the subject English with other school subjects. Dear students, dear student teachers, just I would like to tell here that we have to be connected with various subjects. Means you cannot differentiate between English is a unique language and other are so. No, we have to have, or we have to maintain the correlation between English, history, because whatever history is there, it is written in particular language, or these books are directly translated into other languages, and those books were translated in English language. Suppose Mohenjo-daro and Harappa was the great culture of India, or of Sindh, but they were written in different languages. But after that, when the invention, discoveries were taken places over there, so that these writings were translated in English language, so that everyone of the world can read and write about Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, because it is the history. Likewise, geography, there is relation between geography and English. We should not have the wall between these two subjects. Then science, whatever knowledge is there, it is in the science, so that science, concepts of science are explained in English language, and astronomy, then physics, chemistry, then library. Then you may say that we are so connected with all subjects, and so that we have to respect all the subjects, and we have to learn all the subjects with the help of English language. Because sometimes if you are living in Maharashtra and you are unable to get information about oldest part of the India, but such information could be stored on English, stored on websites with the help of English language, so that we should not have such type of differences. After that, fifth one, relation of the subject with English education. English education means you are the teacher of English language, you are the teacher of English methods, so that you have to write whatever is there, and our field is education field. As a teacher, you should have the knowledge of educational psychology. You should have the knowledge of educational management. Then different theories are there, instructional theories are there. Then ICT is there. Different subjects you have to study at your level, but with the help of English language. And education is there. Education makes perfect human being. Education helps to make perfect teacher, and so that we have to educate not only ourselves but every one of the society. And when the whole world will be educated, then there will be peace. Okay, there will be great teaching, there will be exchange of cultures, ideas, and respect will be given to each one of any uh, country. Okay, so that you should have such type of feeling with you that there is relation between education and English. In part B, analysis of the subject English. In this one, we have to learn point number 1, structure of the subject English. What is the structure of subject English? Every subject has its own structure. In English language, suppose someone says that I am completed my master degree in arts, that is English literature, but does he know about each and everything about English literature? If the person says that I am master in this subject, will he tell us about every part of the subject? No. Likewise, if you want to prove yourself that you are well learned and you have the good knowledge, you are the knowledgeable person, then structure of particular subject should be studied. Okay, in English language, if you have the book and when you will look into the book, at that time you may say that there is structure of English language, because in structure of English language there are prose, poetry, grammar, and sub skills. In this prose, we may say that there are autobiography, biographies, various parts of the prose. And after that, for poetry, in poetry you may say that there is ode, sonnet, then ballad, then lyrics, means different types of poetries are there. And so that if we come to grammar, in grammar there are two types of grammar, that is formal grammar and informal grammar. Formal grammar, what happens in formal grammar? Whatever we have studied since our 5th class to right now, it is formal grammar. And informal grammar, what happens in in functional grammar? Functional grammar, in which day-to-day words have been formed, and in our day-to-day communication we do use such type of grammatical structures. Okay, and after that there are phonetics in this structure of language, phonetics. Then listening, speaking, reading, writing, these skills are there. What is listening? What is speaking? Then what is writing and what is reading? Okay, if you want to master over these skills, then you should know about what are the techniques of teaching skills, what are the techniques of evaluating these skills, and after that writing skills are there. In writing skills, you need to write drafts, you need to prepare an advertisement, you need to have the note making, then you need to write reports. Okay, likewise, and when you are really able to study it, and if you are really studious one, then definitely if someone asks you that, okay, please tell me about this type of sonnet, tell me about this type of word or lyric, then what is biography and what are the grammatical operations, then definitely if you are well versed with the this content knowledge of English structure, then definitely there will be no any kind of problem. After that, Second one is that curriculum and syllabus, concept and types. In this one, see what is meant by curriculum. Curriculum is nothing but the framework, but what is syllabus? Syllabus is the thing which is actually we have to implement. Curriculum, it is said about curriculum. Curriculum is the tool in the hands of artist, means teacher, to mold his material, means student, according to his ideals in his studio. In means in school. Means curriculum is the framework where whatever is given over there, just we have to bring it at practical level. And in this syllabus, actual or such physical experiences are given in classes or at school level. Means if the particular subject is over there, okay, and I have to teach it, I have to arrange any field trip, I have to demonstrate any experiment in the classes. Likewise, such experiences are there. I have to arrange some curricular activities, co-curricular activities where students will actively participate in to learn more about particular thing. Likewise, third one is also there is core element. Okay, these core elements, values and life skills. Okay, when we speak about core elements, these core elements were included in National Education Policy 1986, where Rajiv Gandhi, Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi has really he brought all the changes by accepting technology in our education. And core elements, why core elements included? Because in India we do see unity in diversity. Okay, means from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, from Assam to Gujarat, everyone, different states are there, different cultures are there, languages are there, festivals are different one. For uniting these states, uniting these people, uniting these religion, we need to introduce core elements, and by introducing core elements, we are about to have our integration, that is national integration, so that there is no any kind of discrimination among the states, among the people, or between two persons, so that core elements are for national identity. Likewise, values are there. Some values, how many values are there? There are 10 core elements, 10 values and such life skills. Even in core elements and in values, likewise, suppose dignity of labor is a value, then production of environment, equality of gender, then scientific temper, means these are some values and core elements where we should not forget the sacrifice of our great leaders, great freedom fighters, and value for what we have to live. We have to live for our values, and we have to transfer these good values among the students, because in future they are going to be a good citizen of India, and India should be known for their citizenship. India should be known for good human being, the country of which have peace, the country has unity in diversity. So that they have been included, and in lectures your teacher educators will definitely focus on these core elements, values, life skills with the proper examples. And after that, fourth one is that analysis of textbook. Means, have you ever heard about this word before B.Ed? No. But in this B.Ed course, analysis of textbook is so important. Means from cover page to last page, whatever pictures are there on front page, whatever contents are included in the book, whatever pictures have been illustrated over there, whatever charts have been illustrated, why page number are like this, why fonts are like this, and why the price of particular book is only specific. and why these units have been included, why different issues like environment, human values, dignity, then science likewise, because while analyzing any book, you will definitely know the internal aspects of the book and external aspects of the book. Who prepares book? Okay, how many members are there on editorial board? Okay, and who are the responsible authorities at state level or at national level? All these things are clearly given in analysis of textbook, and this is for practical also. In old syllabus it was for practical purpose, and right now it is also for practical purpose. And after that, content analysis. What is meant by content? If there is prose and if the two paragraphs are there, means every paragraph or single paragraph is meaningful one, because we may say that there are many lines, many sentences, but in these short paragraph there are meaningful words, meaningful sentences, then meaningful grammatical structures. Okay, and what happens in content analysis? We have to find out new words, grammatical operations, and in content analysis we need to have which method should I use in the school for teaching of language to the students, which picture or which teaching aid should I carry with me to teach particular content, what type of learning experience should I give to my students, and what are the new concepts, what is about glossary and vocabulary. Means everything is given over there in content analysis, and it is so important. As a student teacher, you should be so prompt and you should be so well versed with the knowledge of English language. In this unit number 2, pedagogical approaches. Pedagogical means which are related to teaching one. Then methods, techniques for teaching subject. Here are some teaching methodologies and some approaches. And first approach is that there are two approaches, that is communicative approach and structural approach. In this communicative approach, the emphasis is given on communication only, the communication which takes place in the classes, because teacher has to encourage the student to take part in the communication, to take part in the action, to take part in the activities of the classes, because in communicative approach students are really inspired by the teachers, because teacher gives an opportunity to him or to her for performing himself communicative for the sake of developing communication skills among students. Then second one, that is structural approach. Structural approach means what? Language is meaningful. In language there are words, there are sentences, there are some phrases, there are some idioms, there are some formulas. As a teacher, as per their level, they learn each and everything. Means student has to learn about the idioms, what and when these should be used. Then student has to construct various sentences. Student has to have the knowledge of these words, phrases, formulas and everything. And in direct method, this is method of teaching. Means in this direct method of teaching, teacher teaches every content or content, every content with the help of English language itself. Okay, means whatever he reads in the class, he explains each and every word into English language only, not in mother tongue of the students. For this purpose, what is the benefit of this direct method? It gives pays for the students to think themselves in English language. Okay, and whenever teacher utters particular sentences in the class, students like to follow him. Students like to imitate him because he speaks many words, many sentences as per the explanation, and he carries particular teaching aids to show them. He carries particular objects, models, because there is visualization and actual models are over there, so that students are able to engage themselves to learn in English, to listen in English, and to speak in English. Means four fundamental skills are directly or indirectly learned through this direct method. Okay. After that, fourth one, grammar translation method. This is the oldest method of teaching, and especially it happens while teaching of English language. In our school days, few teachers were there who taught us English by using English language itself only, but many teachers are there, they like to read English content and they like to translate each and every word into mother tongue of the students, that is in Marathi language or other language. And such teacher relies on guides, whatever supportive material is available over there. He shouldn't, or there was no any kind of need to study at home, because whenever he comes in the classes, just he like to have the book and just he read out, he reads it out and just he tells. It happens, and right now it is happening in all schools of Maharashtra. The teacher of English should not use mother tongue while teaching of English language in the classes, and he should not support for grammar translation method. Because of this method, the careers of students have been spoiled, and there is phobia of English language. English language becomes English subject, and English subject is so difficult one, so that it was the duty of such teachers to teach everything into English language. But everyone knows about this grammar translation method was badly used by the teachers. But as far as teacher educators are concerned, I always stuck with direct method. I never allow my students to use this grammar translation method at practice lessons. No, only direct method, or you may say that eclectic method is used. After that, fifth one is that direct West method. Dr. West method. Dr. West method emphasizes on reading skills of the learner. Means he believes that whenever learner learns new words, then there is enrichment in vocabulary, and when such students have such type of enriched vocabulary, then he can definitely use such vocabulary in his listening, speaking, reading and writing. Means it was the opinion of Dr. West. After that, sixth one, inductive and deductive method. Inductive and deductive, these are the two methods of teaching grammar. In this inductive method, in English medium, it happens certain examples are given on the blackboard or written on the blackboard, and students are asked to extract the rules of grammar. Okay, and these students are so habitual, because from their first language or from their first standard to right now, they are much familiar with the use of English language. In this inductive method of grammar teaching, examples are already given, and with the help of these examples we have to extract the rules, and vice versa, in deductive method. In deductive method, what happens? In Marathi medium schools, all teachers like to say that just note down the or write down the rules of grammar, and after by hearting, after memorizing these rules, we are about to solve the examples which are given to us. Means it is completely opposite to inductive one. By giving rules, one can really memorize, or one can have such type of practice, or he may continue his practice of memorizing these rules and solving of the examples. This is another way of teaching grammar. After that, some techniques are used in this unit number 2. Some techniques are there. What are the techniques? Dramatization, storytelling, language games, vocabulary games, group work and pair work. Means as a teacher, and teacher must be an artist. Okay. Means he should not think himself that only teaching and evaluating is my work, nothing out of that. But as a language teacher, he must be enthusiastic himself, and he must have such type of enthusiasm, and he has to encourage all the students to learn different techniques of English language. While teaching, he has to introduce dramatization. What happens in dramatization? In dramatization, teacher who divides particular content, and he forms different groups of students, and he distributes such type of characters among the students. If there is play, then he asks, okay, you have to play this role, you have to play that role, and you have to perform it before the student, before me, because by expressing ourselves, student, or we can get the confidence, and for building your confidence, you have to be the part of such techniques. You have to involve yourself as well as your student, so that they will definitely learn how to deliver the dialogue, how to add the gestures. Likewise, in storytelling also, storytelling is a technique, and as we know that we have heard many stories from our grandparents or parents, from our friends or teachers. Storytelling is the technique, so that while narrating a story, you have to have such type of gestures, you have to involve yourself, you have to add the feelings, so that student will visualize themselves, yes, according to the words, according to the trace, according to the intonation pattern, according to the style of delivery of your dialogues or whatever content, students should engage themselves directly. Students should be active. So the storytelling is the part. After that, language games are there. Means by using crosswords, then vocabulary games are there, missing words are there, odd man outs are there. Okay. After that, group work and pair work. By forming many groups and pairs, we can give direct chance to your student for expression, and if they express themselves confidently before the students, before the teachers, really there is learning. Okay, means every day we have to give them chance to express themselves freely, and these are the units for this course. And in part B, learning resources for the learning concept, need and importance of learning resources. Dear students, see in this one what we have to learn. In this one, there is one point: traditional technology based learning resources. In old days, teaching aids were there, posters were there, but right now language labs are there, mobile apps are there, websites are there. Means we have to make them understand how to use language lab, how to use mobile apps, how to surf on different websites, because many more knowledge is available on the internet. Okay, in language lab, we have to take them in physical lab physically, language lab physically, because in language lab particular language lingua phones are there, language softwares are there, how to utter words, how to listen word, how to record our voice, and how to read loudly, and how to read particular conversations. Means by learning all these things, by practicing a lot of in language laboratories, student can get command over four fundamental skills. And right now many mobile apps are there. You can learn from online Oxford universities, you can learn through online mode. Means there are different types of mobile apps are there, where just you have to speak in Marathi, the translation is over there. Just you have to type your Marathi, then it will converted or it will translated into English language. Means as a student teacher, as a student teacher, you should be aware about these, and you should make good use of all these things. After that, second one, evaluation of English language learning. How to evaluate English language learning? There are four fundamental skills, and it is the aim of this syllabus that our four fundamental skills should be enriched, and there is evaluation pattern. Okay, in what way? Some theoretical part, some practical part is given over there, and you have to be ready for such type of evaluation. And third one, that is skills: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. How to evaluate auditory comprehension, speaking comprehension, reading comprehension, or writing comprehension. Okay, some dictations are there, some traces are there, then listening and speaking, reading and writing. These four fundamental skills are well taught in the classes, and evaluation of these skills are also taken by the teacher educators. And fourth one, that is teacher of subject English competencies and role. I am the teacher of English language. Then what are the qualities of English language teacher? Okay, whatever qualities, competencies, and role he has to perform in his teaching profession, he must be prompt, he must be hard worker, he must be caretaker, he must be passionate about his profession, and he must love to the student, and he must discover new ideas, or he must be follower of good people, he must be good at his language. Likewise, these things will be taught by your teacher educators, and these are the part of your syllabus. After theoretical orientation of syllabus, let's move towards practical work. Out of these three, you have to select any one practical. Means orientation of these three will be given by your teacher educator in your college, in your class, and as per the need of your college, as per the need of your teacher educator, or it depends upon you in which area you are interested in. So that you may select textbook analysis, then book review. Means many novels and dramas of Indian authors are there in our library. Just you have to select them, and you have to write your own opinion. Means what is the subject, what is the theme of it, what is the title of it, and what is the writer's background, then why he has created such type of novel or drama, then what are the characters in the drama or novel, and how the story moves, and what is the start, beginning, then middle, and what is the climax, and what are the impression of readers. Likewise, these things should be written in the form of report. This is another report one. And after that, third one is that critical analysis of advanced learning resources, that is software. You need to learn about a software, then you have to write reports on any educational apps, then any educational blogs are there, websites are there. Just you have to go to over there, and you need to write a report. Means merely writing a report or many reports, it doesn't mean that you are capable of learning. First of all, you have to study these things, and then as per your understanding as per your comprehension level, then you have to write your report in your own words, and this is expected. Okay, dear students, and I think this is I would like to conclude my orientation by saying thank you very much for listening attentively this one. And if you have any queries regarding orientation of syllabus, you may directly call me or you may write me. There is my email ID. Anytime I am ready to solve your problems. Thank you, dear student. Thank you very much. Have a nice day ahead.